Good evening. Welcome to the Nest. Welcome to Netflix and Chill, guys. I hope that you are ready for episode 3. It looks like you guys are in here just pouring into the room. So I'm going to give it just a second, as we've done for the previous sessions. I'm going to give it just like 2 minutes, and then we're going to get started. So grab a pen, grab some paper, grab your parent, grab something to take notes with, because this is going to be one of those sessions, one of those episodes that you 100% need to take notes, okay? 100% need to take notes and follow instructions. This is the easiest part of your enrollment process to mess up. And we've had students mess up all the time. I don't want that to be you. So please make sure you're grabbing something that you can take notes with. Even if you have your laptop, make sure that you can print screen, whatever you need to do to make sure that this process goes seamlessly for you, because we're going to go step by step on how to apply for housing. All right, so I'm going to give it just a few seconds. I see a lot of people are starting to come into the room, and then I will be right back for you guys. All right, so it's 6:03, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to Netflix and Chill episode 3. This is our final episode for this season. So this is going to be all about how to apply for housing. I know you guys cannot wait until midnight comes, because you guys have been emailing us and you've been sending us messages. So I know that you are super duper excited about this part. Everybody wants to know about how they can get and reserve a room on campus. So we have some very special people in the building today. We have our housing team. They're going to be in the chat box. They're going to be answering your questions. They're going to be walking you through this process. If you have any questions, please use the chat box. However, please remember, we are not answering individualized questions. So if you have a question that is individualized or something that pertains to you in particular, then you want to contact the housing office directly. Okay, so if you need like special accommodations, this is not the place to ask about that. We're trying to make sure that we are keeping some anonymity amongst you guys. So we don't want to have your business out in public. So please, and this is also being recorded and it will be shared with other students. So please make sure that you are not asking any personal questions in the chat box, okay? All right, so we have our housing staff that will be on the call. We have Miss Deborah Moore. She is our interim assistant dean of housing. Did I get that right, Miss Morris?
Yes, you did.
And then we also
thrilled to be here.
We're thrilled to have you. And then we also have our residence hall manager for Dedmon Hall, Miss Shanell Dixon. Did I get that right, Miss Dixon? And you're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that. So nice to meet you all. Yes, you got that right, Miss Harris. We look forward to help you all with this process.
All right, so before we get started, I want to get your energy up, because I know you guys are super duper excited about this process. I want to get your energy up. So I need you guys to tell me where you're from. I need you to fill in the blank, because we've been telling you what this chant is for the last 3 episodes. So I need you to put in the chat, you should know what that line means. Fill in the blank. And then put your state right beside that. I want to know where you guys are coming from. So in the chat, really quickly, we want to make sure you're in the building, that you're representing, that you're excited. You can put emojis behind it if you want to, but I need to see your excitement in the chat. Okay, Matthew from Pennsylvania. Okay, we have DC in the house. Where else are you guys from? We need your participation. Okay, PA, you're showing out today. PA, DC, Maryland, Rhode Island, New York, Virginia, Cali. Okay, Cali, Arkansas. Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey. I see you guys. We are so excited to see all of these states represented in here. Let's see if we can get a few more. New York. What part of New York? Latrice, what part of New York are you from? DC, Cali, Ohio. Yay! You guys are really representing. We are so excited to see you. And because you live so far away, we know that you're going to need housing. So I know that's why you're on this call. So you can continue to drop it in the chat, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go over some things with you really quickly. Again, my name is Janel Harris. If I didn't say it already, I am the Associate Director for First Time Student Admission, proud Coppin alum. So I am so happy to see all of your names on the screen because that means that you are going to be continuing the legacy at Coppin State, and we want to welcome you guys to the nest. If you have not done so already, we're going to be sending you a copy of the videos from the last 2 episodes, how to set up your eGlinks account and how to understand your financial aid package. And then this will be the 3rd episode on how to apply for housing. So we will send you guys a copy of this video or all 3 videos, but please make sure if you have not done so already to set up your eGlinks account. All right. All right, so to get started on today's episode, students will leave today's session with an understanding of how to successfully submit a housing application. This will include what documents are needed for submission, how to set up your eRezLife profile, how to set up your roommate preference profile, and how you will know when your application is complete. If you have gone into the eGlinks portal already and tried to apply, you messed up. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why you messed up, because the application for new students is not open yet, and you have to follow directions. I keep reiterating this. You must follow directions. We gave you dates on when the applications will open, when certain things will be available to you, so that you can do this in steps. And some of you have jumped out there and went a little too fast. And so maybe Ms. Dixon, if you can address that at some point in your session, if that will hinder a student from being able to proceed because they try to do a returning student housing application versus a new student application. So please make sure that you are listening carefully, taking good notes, and that you are following the instructions that we send you verbatim. Don't make up anything. Don't try to jump ahead, because a lot of students have already messed themselves up a little bit because they were jumping ahead. So students, please make sure to follow instructions. What we will not cover in today's episode is building preference. Where will I stay? I heard you guys have a new dorm coming online. I want to stay in that dorm. My friend is staying in this dorm. We're not discussing that today. What is or is not allowable to bring to campus? We won't discuss that today. We have already talked about setting up your eGlinks account, so I'm not going to reiterate that or that process, but it is important that that is completed in order to access your eRezLife portal. Okay, so you won't be able to do that if you haven't set up your eGlinks account. We will not discuss financial aid today, or the cost of attendance, or academic advisement. All right, we will have season 2 of Netflix and Chill. That will be in April after Admitted Student Day. We will send out a new list of episodes, and we'll be talking about these things at a later date. So please be on the lookout for the episodes to come, so that you'll know what to bring, what not to bring, and all those things. Expectations to living on campus. How do you get put out of campus? Parents, if you're on a call, if we call you and tell you that you got 24 hours to come get your child, we're going to discuss all of those things. We're going to keep it real, and we're going to make sure that you are well informed in the episodes to come. So please stay tuned for season 2. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I am going to turn it over. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our residence hall manager, Miss Dixon. It's on you.
Hey everyone, I see a lot of you all from DC, Cali. I'm from Detroit, so I don't see no Detroit people on here, but that's all good. Again, my name is Shanell Dixon. I'm the residence hall manager for Dedman Hall. It's definitely a pleasure to be here with y'all today. We definitely want to welcome you all to the nest. Today, I'm going to go over, as Ms. Harris was saying, just setting up your profile, the application, the roommate preferences, all the basic stuff to help you all during your journey to get your housing. So first, give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. There we go. Can you guys see my screen? If everybody can see my screen, once somebody can just reply and say yes. Can everybody see the screen? Okay, thank you all. So first, you guys will start off with the coppin.erezlife.com. So you're going to use that to log on to pull up your information, your student email, and your password. So that's how you're going to get to this page. And then once you click on the three cursors, as you can see, it has profile and housing overview. So then you'll go to my profile. As you can see, you'll have like your picture. You stroll on down, you'll be able to upload a picture, your student ID. If you're an athlete, a student athlete, yes or no, you can select whichever one is preferred to your preference. You stroll down, you have your name, your middle name, your last name. You'll insert your cell phone number, your email address, your gender. You'll submit your birth date. Continue down. So make sure you also include your emergency contact information. We need that information to make sure it's accurate. If we have to get in touch with your parent, your grandmother, or whatever information you put down there. So make sure you put their information, their name, their contact number, also email address, and then their relationship to you. And then at the bottom, you guys can see it says save. You'll save that. And then you see at the top, it'll say changes were saved. Then you go back here, go back to housing. Then you select housing overview.
It's a little blurry.
It's blurry.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still blurry?
A little bit. Yes, very blurry. I'm looking at the comments.
What's going on with the? Let me see. Is it still blurry?
Yep.
It's a little. Let me pull it up some more.
And Ms. Jackson asked if you can start over because it was blurry from the beginning.
Okay. Is it
And
still
it looks
blurry
like
now, or you guys can see it?
it looks like it might be a connection issue, like it's pixelated, like the web is not clear. If that makes sense.
Because I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. Let me refresh my screen again and see.
Okay, students, while we're working on that, I just want to ask you guys if you could in the chat tell me what you're most excited about in terms of starting your collegiate career at Coppin. If you can just put in the chat something that you're excited about. Are you excited about a particular class? Are you excited about meeting new people, being away from home? Can you put that in the chat and let us know? What are you excited about? Okay, I see someone said being able to walk to the gym and grocery store from campus. Yep, because it's right across the street. New scenery. You're excited about, Zay is excited about the criminal justice program. Anaya is excited about being away from home and a fresh start. Is it Zai? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Zai says Greek life. Is it Sine? Is interested in meeting new people and networking, new environments, new people in the major. Playing basketball. Okay, Shanell, are you a part of our basketball team? Shanell? Kayla says being away from home and new scenery. So it seems like a lot of you are ready to get away from your parents. I'm sure your parents are ready to get away from you guys too. No, it's just a joke. I'm sure they're going to miss you guys. Okay, Miss Elston, Shanell Elston. Okay, we're gonna have to pay attention and look out for Quincy. He's gonna be on the basketball team, guys. Ariana says meeting new people, Greek life, and the business program. Awesome. And I'm seeing some familiar names. You guys have been on for all 3 episodes. That's wonderful. And is anyone a part of our social media groups, our class of 2023? If you are, can you give us a thumbs up? And Matthew, you're coming to play baseball? Awesome. If you guys are a part of the class of 2023 social media, put a thumbs up, let us know. Ooh, dancing and cheer. Okay. And parents if you're in the chat, are you excited about being a part of the parent association? Can you give me a heart emoji? If you're in the chat, we have a parent association. If you're interested in joining that, we will have a session just for you. I do see some hearts. That is very exciting.
That is truly exciting. So right now we're still having some technical difficulties. So if you guys don't mind, I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Yep, you can definitely do that.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. And please let me know if you can see my screen okay. I don't see
We
the
can
chat
see it.
anymore.
It's nice and clear. It's nice and clear. We can see it.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and keep going, and I'm going to ask Miss Dixon to unmute. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to take it back to the profile. So as Miss Dixon shared with you guys, as soon as you log in, and it's eRez, it's right here. Well, it's right here, eRez.com. Actually, we'll just send that to you because this is a training site. So when you get in, the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and check your profile. It's the very first thing that you'll do. And we have a test subject here, Miss Pepper Potts. And when you get in here, you'll be able to choose a file, put a picture in so that we know who you are. It'll also be very helpful when you're getting to know your roommates and sharing information and taking a look at who's this person in my space. So you're going to go right through the profile. The first thing you're going to do is go right through your profile and fill out the information. Anywhere there's an asterisk, you absolutely need to fill it out. And I'd also ask you to make sure that you always fill out a cell phone number. And this is really important because we want to make sure that we can always reach you when things are happening. I heard cheerleading, I heard sports events, there are a lot of things happening all the time. And we want to make sure that we can go ahead and reach you. So I'm just going to click through that because you're going to go ahead and use your personal information. Once your personal information is there, I'm hoping I have a contract. So you're going to move right into your housing overview. And here's where it really all begins for you. So you're going to let us know you're a new student. Maybe you're a new student athlete joining one of our teams. Or if you're one of our students that are joining as an honor or a scholar student, you want to pick the one that's most applicable to you. So I'm going to go ahead and pick, I'm a new student. Okay, we already did this actually. So I can't go back in. You know what? Give me a moment. I'm going to go in as a different student because I wanted to actually show you the application process. So I apologize for the delay. So I'm hoping that Janelle, you can give them a couple of interesting things to talk about for about 30 seconds. I'm going to come out and come back in as a different student so we can walk it in from beginning to end. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Miss Harris stepped away. This is Tyler, admissions counselor.
Hi, Tyler. Can you engage our new folks? And I will be right back.
Yes, sure. All right, so Miss Harris just came back in. 1 second.
Okay. She there? Talk.
All right, I am here. I'm sorry. I went to get some water. I went to get some water. All right. So if you could, guys, in the chat, let us know what major you plan to participate in. And I want you to take note of who says what, because these are going to be people in your cohort that you should probably rely on. I'm never going to be the person that says, look to your left, look to your right. One of these people are not going to be here. I'm going to say, look to your left, look to your right. Make sure everybody is here together. All right. Make sure that you are supporting one another. You are a cohort of students. You should be motivating one another. If you see somebody doing something, like, come on, we better than this. We in college, we got to step our game up. So if you see your major, start writing down notes. Start taking notes. Parents, if you're in here, don't put anything. Only the students, because we're going to make them start to connect the dots. Because if you're in the class of 2030 group and you see someone's name on here, you may be able to connect with that person. All right. This is a great way to start getting study partners, building relationships with these people, so that you guys can make sure when it's time to study for tests, if you need somebody's book, if you need to borrow a book, if you guys can help each other with your paper, editing, reviewing the paper before you turn it in, all of these things are important. And I tell all of my students this when they come to freshman seminar class. I always make sure to let them know that these are the people that you need to rely on. All right. Not just the staff that are here, but you should rely on one another because you're building relationships that are going to last you a lifetime. So I need you guys to make sure to take note, scroll through, connect with people that you see. If you see somebody in the chat that has your same major, call them out and say, hey. I'm going to choose the two students that I see that have the same major. So I see Anaya Dudley and Namari Moloch are both nursing majors. So in the chat, I want you guys to shout out somebody that you see that has your major. Okay. All right, quickly.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a fun thing to do.
It is, because I'm telling you, some of my longest friends, some of my closest friends that I still have today were my roommates, were my friends. We started an organization while I was at Coppin State. So these are the people that I built community with. And so you guys are going to start building community. So go ahead and shout out somebody that you see that has your major. Start connecting, because when you see them at new student orientation, when you see them at move-in day, when you see them at admitted student day, you can put a face to a name because you already know the name. All right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And lifelong friendships, not just a few. All right. Let's see. Are we back? Can you hear me? Oh, you can't hear
Yes, ma'am.
me.
Nope, I can hear you. Nope, I can hear you. So I did have a request in the I'm going to share my screen if you don't mind really quickly, because I want to be able to share with the students. We see in the chat that there are some students asking how do they get to this this page. And so I'm going to open up my queue.
Yes.
So that I can show you guys, because you can access this directly from your application portal. The link will become live at midnight. And so we want to make sure that you know where to go. So I'm going to share my screen in just 1 second.
Mm-hmm. And I can also show the website. So it's right here, coppin.eRezLife.com, as well as the portal that Janelle's about to show you.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen. And this is a test screen, guys. So this is not a real person. So I'm not sharing anybody's stuff. Just want you guys to be aware. So when you go to your when you go to your application portal, so when you go through the application portal where you applied, where your next steps are, where you paid your deposit, your enrollment fee, you will see here that there will be a link for your housing deposit. So you can click here and it will show you how to pay your housing deposit, which we'll get into a little later. But there should also be a link in your enrollment next steps. And this link will open up at midnight. So Janel, correct me if I'm wrong, this will turn from submit housing application to an actual live link. Is that correct?
It will be a live link at midnight tonight.
At midnight. Okay. So do not, I'm going to say it one more time. Do not go into eLinks and try to do the application, because the application opens at what time, guys? Can you put it in the chat? What time does it open?
Yes,
Midnight.
midnight.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
Midnight. This will become a live link and you'll be able to click it and start applying. Okay. And please know that we are not going to be, yes, midnight East Coast time. Midnight East Coast time. Please know that we will not be here. We will not be awake to help you through this process. So if you have any issues, you can always contact us tomorrow during regular business hours. But this link will become live for you at midnight. So it's in your application portal. Okay. And you can just scroll down. You'll see the link to pay your housing deposit. This is different from your enrollment fee. This is a separate $150 from the enrollment fee. Okay. And then down here where it says optional, submit housing application April 1st, this link will become live for you to click, okay? And it says optional because not everybody who comes to Coppin will live on campus. So it says optional for that reason only, all right? All right, I'm gonna turn it back over to you now. You can share your screen again.
Okay. Happy to do that. All right, let me know when you can see my screen.
We are all good. We can see it nice and clear.
All right, so you guys, I'm sorry that we had some technical difficulties. That happens. It happens, but hopefully we can move through this for you cleanly and clearly in the next few minutes. So here's where we left off. We went and checked out the profile. In fact, I went in while I was waiting and gave this pretend student a picture to encourage you to put an image in when you go to your profile. And then we went to housing. So the next thing you'll do is go ahead. So your profile is complete, and we're going to go ahead and move to housing. And your housing overview. Now, this will show up after we saw that one question, I'm a new student, and you click that to identify yourself as a brand new student, or a brand new student to Coppin who's an athlete, or a brand new student to Coppin who's a scholar, whatever best fits you. So now we're going to go ahead and apply now. And I know that Miss Dixon is still out there. Miss Dixon, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm sorry, everyone. My computer's acting crazy.
That's all right. You want to go ahead or you want me to continue?
Yeah, that's fine. I can go. Yes. So, as Ms. Morris said, now you're on the housing overview page. Then you click that button for the apply. As you can see, she's clicking, putting all the information in, your cell phone number, the gender, the emergency contact information. I was saying to make sure you put that information in, so if something happens, we're able to get in reach with your parent or guardian or whoever the person you want us to be in contact with if something happens. Scroll down a little more, Miss Morris. Now, this is the part I know a lot of you all have questions about, the roommate preferences. So with the roommate preferences, as you can see, there's a series of questions that we're going to ask you because we want to make sure we mesh you all with other individuals who fit your personality or characteristics. So like the first question asks, what kind of relationship do you want with your roommate? Do you want to be friends, do stuff together? Miss Debbie, for example, you can just choose the first one, do everything together.
Ooh,
Once you make the selection, you can put, it'll select and go over to the other side. And then when you continue to scroll down, it says, what are your typical sleeping habits? Are you an early riser? Do you go to bed late? And then you'll make a selection.
wait,
Or
let's see some of that in the chat.
okay.
Let's see what's going on with these new students coming in. Are you early to bed, early to rise? Early to bed, late to rise, late to bed?
I bet some of y'all like to stay up late. Y'all like to stay up late, and
I
or
can't
like
see
y'all
the
like to be on the game all night.
I can't see the chat, so you guys are gonna have to tell me.
Somebody said, yeah, if we have a roommate already. Somebody
But-
said stay up late. Anaya said she like to stay up late.
All right, here we go.
Somebody said, Miss Caitlin said a mix, depending on how much work she had. Miss Jackson said I can stay up late and wake up early. Miss
All
Johnson
right.
said she likes to go to bed early and wake up early. Zay
All right,
said
so it's a
late to
mixed
bed.
bag. You see, that's
Mix,
why it's
yeah, it's a
important for you
mix.
guys to select what's important, how you live, so that we can match you properly.
Right. And wanted to say like this is very imperative, as Ms. Moore saying, because we want to make sure that this information is filled to the best of y'all ability, because this will eliminate conflict issues later on when y'all actually living together, waking up, going to classes, in and out, and different lengths like that. So that's why this is very important. The way you like to study is important. Do you like people in the room and stuff like that? So it's very imperative for this section right here. You actually spend a lot of time with your selections and make sure this is exactly what you want, so you don't run into no issues with your roommate. And as you see, if Miss Morris keep clicking, once you click, it'll go over to the next thing. What is your preferred environment for studying? Once you make a selection, then you click it, and it'll go over. The same once you make a selection and then click right under there, it'll go over to the right.
I don't know, you guys. I don't know where we should go here. All right, maybe ask first.
Right. How are y'all feel about guests? Do y'all like to somebody to ask before they bring somebody over? Are you okay? Miss Jackson said no guests.
And if you change your mind, you can go ahead and get rid of the other one and leave it here.
Yes.
All right, we have parents on the line. We have students that are not going to drink, right? So I do not drink alcohol.
And the same thing, it'll share over to the right. Do you smoke? Hopefully we don't. I pray that we don't have no smokers on, and make sure you say no for that. Do you prefer to live with somebody who smokes? No. And then this is very important. Before you can choose your meal plan, you have to have your housing assignment. That has to be taken care of first. So please make sure that you have your assignment, because then once you have your assignment, you'll be able to select your meal plan. And as Ms. Harris said, this is a dry campus, so it's no smoking and drinking on campus. And as Ms. Harris was saying in the beginning of her presentation, you will get more information regarding that in episode 2, season 2.
As season 2. So another thing that I would add to what Ms. Dixon said is for the meal plan, you will have your assignment a couple of weeks after you complete your application, the one that we're going through now. And once you have that assignment, we will email you. We'll make sure that you have all the information that you need. Then you go in and pick a meal plan. And a meal plan is mandatory for every student that's in housing, because we want to make absolutely certain that we are not just housing you and you're comfortable and you're sleeping and you've found a new best friend and a roommate, but that you also have access to the nutrition and the food and the caf every single day without fail. All right, let's keep going.
Okay. Save and continue.
Can I ask a really quick question, because it's in the chat and I knew this was going to come up?
Absolutely.
Yes, Ms. Harris.
What if I already have someone I want to room with? I can't wait to hear the answer to this question.
Well, I have an answer for that question. If you have someone that you already want to room with, we actually had this discussion earlier today as a team.
Right.
And we are going to allow you to select a roommate, but there's some caveats to that. So most students come in by themselves and they don't have someone that they want to roommate with, have someone they want to room with. And occasionally friends come in from the same high school or their relatives or whatever the case may be. We will allow you in the application process, and we're not going to do it right now for the interest of time and because it's a one-off, for you to, once your preferences are in, to go ahead and create what we call a roommate group, to select both your building and any roommates that you'd like to house with. So you're going to send them an invitation in eRez, and as soon as they accept and complete their application, they become eligible to room with you. Did I answer your question? I hope. Janel?
Yep, you did.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, so at this point, we've completed the profile, you've completed the application, you come back to this page, and we are almost at the finish line when it comes to applying for housing. So I'll turn it back over to Ms. Dixon.
Yes, so now we're at the application overview. As you see, it's a few check marks for you to check. It says I have open, read, and understood and agreed to the housing contract, the terms and conditions. I declare all information I haven't disclosed throughout this application process is correct. So what you will do is you'll check both of those boxes, and then in the little blue thing, the blue little section where it says terms and conditions is a link. When you click on that link, it's the actual housing contract. As you can see. So as you can see, it's like at the top, it has a section for you can fill your information, put your last name, your first name, and then all that good information in between.
Make
And then
sure that
when
you
you
print this out and read it. This is very important. I can't stress that
yes,
enough. I'm going to make it
yes,
bigger. Can you
right.
guys
And
see
please
that
make sure
better?
it's, can you guys see that? Can everyone see it?
It gives you all the information you need, the basic information that you need as it relates to your housing contract, the deposit itself. It's only a deposit, and when you leave, for most reasons, we end up giving you back 125 of that $150 deposit. It talks about the meal plans, as I shared with you, which is mandatory. And then it talks about the terms around cancellation and just a bunch of stuff that we want to make sure that everyone is aware of. And then when you get to the bottom, here you go.
Go, yep, you're gonna sign. So as Ms. Morris saying, please make sure you take the time, you read it and go through it and understand it, because you will be abided to the all the information that's in here, and you will sign, put your information, and then you'll be good to go.
That's it. Okay, come back up. And I think we're just going to X out of this, I believe. I'm
Yeah,
not
you can
sure.
just go back, Miss Morris. You can just go back, Miss Morris.
This way?
Yep. Yep, you can just go back and it take yep, and it take you right back.
And then
And
we're going
then
to
at the
submit.
bottom, you see it says submit application. And as you can see where it says in the little gray box, it says fall 2026, and it shows you complete profile. It has a complete application and all that good information. And then right here, it shows the receipt. The receipt just basically showing that you completed the application, the date that you submitted it, and lets you know that that step has been completed.
Yay! At that point, you've done everything that you needed to do. And from the housing standpoint, for the application process. But there's still a couple of things that you should be aware of that, and one is we want to make sure before your housing application is completely complete, we need to make sure that you forwarded your medical vaccination information and that, of course, you paid your housing deposit. So there's a three things only. This process, easy breezy application and eRez, your medical information that gets emailed in, and I believe that there's a link in the information that comes from admissions, so it'll direct you right to where you need to be, and of course the deposit for housing. So that's it. That's how you go ahead and go and get housing. So we're happy to open it up and go to the chat for any questions, any concerns. I can't see the chat right now. So if there's any
I
questions, I need you guys to share them.
I do see some questions and I can read them out to you. But before I do that, I want to share my screen one more time so that students know what it's going to look like live at midnight, where you're going to go, so that you'll know that everything is in one place. You do not have to be scared of this process, guys.
Right.
The process is going to be simple to walk through if you just follow these instructions. I know it may
Mhm.
seem like a lot, but once you get in, you can't move to the next thing without completing a step. So everything that has a red asterisk beside it, you have to complete it, else it will not allow you to move forward. So all of these things are put in place in order to ensure that you're completing the steps. I did see in the chat that there were some questions about paying the $150 deposit. Paying the $150 housing deposit does not guarantee you housing. I want to repeat that.
Mm-hmm.
Paying the $150 deposit alone does not guarantee you housing. You have to complete all three parts. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen really quickly. So when you go to the housing page on the website, you will see that there are links. These links are going to take you back to your portal. Okay. You may have to log in, but it will direct you to the portal. And this is where you will pay your $150 housing deposit. Can you pay that today? Yes. But if you pay that today and wait for everything else, will that secure your room? I want you to put in the chat, will $150 deposit secure your room? Put in the chat, answer yes or no. Thank you. No, it will not. Okay. So we've had this happen in the past. People will call us in August and say, oh, I paid the fee. That should have held my space. It does not hold your space. There are already, I'm not going to give you a number because I don't want to scare anybody. There are already a number of students who have already paid the housing deposit. That does not mean that all of them will get a room if they don't follow the next steps. Okay. So you do have to pay your housing deposit. Once you get to the link for housing, it will take you to the link, the eRez link that Miss Morris has demonstrated for us this evening. Okay. However, if you've already paid the housing deposit, you can skip over that part. You don't have to do it. So you can go straight to the housing application fee. Okay. I mean, sorry, go to the application, complete the housing application. You can go straight to that. It'll take you to the housing link again. Just click on the link down here. It'll open up the housing application, the eRezLife. Okay. So please make sure that you're paying attention to that. Then third, you want to make sure, I'm going to click this. This is going to take you to an email, all right, that already is set up for you. I'm going to put the person, this is how you should set up. What was her name? Shay Rogers?
Yes.
And I think you guys should probably take a screenshot of this, because this is probably something that you should put like in your subject line. Your name, immunization record for housing. Simple. Make sure you put your name in the subject. Make sure that you have attached an actual immunization record. Many of you will be able to get this from your doctor. If you call your doctor, they can send you over a copy. Some of you can get it from your high school. All right. So please make sure that you are uploading your health form. If you do not get medically cleared, I don't care if you have submitted the application. I don't care if you have done your preferences for your roommate. If you paid the $150 deposit, if you do not get cleared medically, you cannot get a room assignment. And I put in the chat a few moments ago what an assignment is. Can somebody tell me what an assignment is? Help your cohort out. Yes, that is your room, where you will be living, the building, the suite, and the room that you will be living in. Okay, so that will be your assignment. You will not be able to get a room assignment if you do not have your medical clearance. Okay, so when you click the email button, it will take you to an email already. All you have to do is put your name, subject, immunization records, and attach them and send them to housing. You don't have to send a long message. You don't have to say, hi, I am Shay Rogers. I am excited to be coming to Coppin in the fall. I'm a proud Eagle. We don't need all of that. We only need your records, okay? So this should include all of the medical, all of your shots and all of those things that are necessary for you to live on campus, okay? There's only one shot that you can waive, and that's the meningitis shot, correct?
That's correct.
Is it hepatitis? Meningitis. That's the only shot that you can waive. But I honestly would recommend that you get it, because you're living in a communal area with many, many people. And so you definitely want to make sure that you are fully vaccinated to live on campus. But that is the only one that is not required and that you can waive. And that is also listed down here where it says what is required for on-campus housing in terms of your immunization records. Okay, so let's go through this one more time. You have to have paid your enrollment fee. If you have not done that, I don't even know why you're on this call, because you have nothing. You have no credentials. You have nothing to start this process. Okay, so everybody on this call should have already paid their enrollment fee. You can pay your housing fee today if you would like. Okay, it is available for you to start paying, but paying does not guarantee housing. You can complete your profile, your housing application. The link will be available tomorrow at midnight, okay? And then you want to email your immunization record over to our community health center. Once they receive it, they will review it and they will send clearance back to the Office of Housing. You do not need to contact them to ask if you were cleared, okay? They will automatically send it over to housing. And once housing receives that, then they can go and do their process of releasing your room assignment. And here's another thing, and I'm gonna make this very, very clear. And if you could co-sign Miss Morris, if your friends start getting their assignments, do not start calling the Office of Housing to say, my friend got their assignment, where's mine? It is a process. It is on a first come, first cleared, first assigned basis, okay? So as you guys, if you can imagine, tomorrow at midnight, everybody's going to be in here applying for housing, right? Everybody's not going to have their immunization record uploaded. It's fine if you don't have your immunization to them at midnight. We know that you guys are not going to have that by midnight. You still want to get this process started. So say if tomorrow you start the application, you go to school tomorrow, you ask your counselor if you can get a copy of your immunization records, or your parents call your doctor and get a copy of your immunization records. You can then upload them to the portal. To the email, not the portal, the email. Okay. Once that gets over to the health center, the health center will review it and send clearance back to the housing office. Once housing receives it, they can go ahead and assign you a room. So say if, for example, Shay Rogers does this on Wednesday, she's able to email her immunization records over. She's already paid her housing deposit. She's already completed her housing application, but she knows someone that's coming to Coppin, and they don't do that until Saturday. That means that you have to wait until Monday for the health center to review your immunization records, okay? So you want to make sure that you're not inundating the phones and emails, because that prevents them from doing their job. All we ask is that you do your part. And that is these 4 steps. Pay your enrollment fee, pay your housing fee, complete your application, and send your immunization records. Okay? All right. Now that is done, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to come on the camera. I didn't mean to mute myself. Sorry. We're going to answer some of these questions for you. So I'm going to read them out to you, Ms. Morris, if you don't mind. And we can answer some of your questions. So I'm going to go all the way back as far as I can.
Let's go.
All right. There's quite a few. Maya wants to know if you can repeat how to create a roommate request. Before you answer that, Miss Morris, can I just ask you a quick question?
Yep.
Do you think it is wise? Because I don't think it's wise. This is just my opinion. I've seen it happen where students think that they want to move in with their best friend. We've seen it happen time and time again. If you want to stay friends, my philosophy is that you do not move in with your best friend, because you know them from one, perspective, but you never lived with them. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you may not, things always get a little funky when you start living with friends. So what is your perspective on this? And Ms. Dixon, you can chime in.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with what you're saying. I don't think that friends should move in together either. Plus, we want to challenge you, and this is an opportunity for you as new college students to meet new people, to stretch yourselves, to experience different cultures. And your friend is still your friend. Let your friend be your friend 2 doors down. Is what I would suggest.
I would say, if I could say something, Ms. Harris, like you said, as a freshman student, we know how it is. You like, that's my homegirl, my homeboy. I want to live with them. But when you live with somebody, you're learning their ways because you're with them 24/7. You're with them all the time. The only time you are probably not together is like when you go to class, most likely. So it's not good. I won't recommend being roommates with your friend. Try to meet somebody you new, get a new experience, learn something from somebody else, and gain friendships that way. I'm not saying you still have your friends, your besties, but I would suggest not living with them. Get your learning experience living in a residence hall, living on campus. Experience somebody that you never met or somebody that you never dealt with before.
Absolutely. And I share this story all the time. My best friend and I both went to Coppin, and my best friend has OCD. And I'm the type of person that might come in the room and I might just kick my shoes off at the door. She has to neatly place them by the door. Okay. And so that I know that we would not be friends now if we would have lived together. But we were one suite apart, and we were always in each other's rooms, but we gave each other enough space to grow. And I appreciated meeting new people. Like my first roommate was from Virginia. She was also Afro-Latina. I got to learn about her culture. So this is a place to challenge you. You are not supposed to be comfortable in college, guys. This is a new start, a fresh start. Parents, I hope that you also push your students to challenge themselves and stretch themselves, because this is a place where you get comfortable with being uncomfortable. There are going to be a lot of things that you go through that are going to challenge you. You might have little tears, you might cry a little bit, but it's to toughen you up. I promise you, you're going to get through it. We're here to help you get through it. Don't get, caught up in the whole, I need to know who my roommate is, because you just might miss out on a good friendship, a long lasting friendship, just because you were closed-minded. And this is just not the place to be closed-minded. College is not that. Okay. So in high school, you can have your little friends. And some of you, when you first got to high school, you didn't know anybody and you developed friends. That's the same thing that should happen here. All right. But now that we've said that, how do you, if you do decide after all of this spiel that we gave, if you do decide that you want to have a roommate, a specific roommate, how do they go about doing that again? Can you discuss that process again? I have that question in the chat.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times in the chat. So now I can see the chat. Yay. So it will be part of the flow. We didn't cover it tonight in the interest of time, but just like the rest of the application was incredibly easy. Basic personal information. If there's an asterisk, fill it. Your preferences on things like, I don't want to live with a smoker, or I sleep late, and I want a clean room. That will also be in the flow tomorrow for you to pick. And if you don't have anyone, that's perfectly fine too. But the option to do so will be there.
Thank you so much. I think it's Sine. If I'm pronouncing your or Sanai, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please forgive me. She made a recommendation, or she gave a little tidbit. She said, if anyone has Kaiser, you can print your immunization records from your patient portal. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And if you have any other insurance, you might want to investigate whether you can pull your immunization records from there as well. So thank you for that. See, look at you looking out for your cohort already. I see a future student leader right there.
Yeah, I love it. I see some concerns about the immunizations and not having that communicated previously. And if there's an impact, right? Does it hold up the application, or does it stop your ability to get housing? So I'm going to go ahead and own and send out an apology to you guys for us not communicating that sooner or more effectively. So that's really good feedback for us to take back. But in terms of how it impacts or affects your housing, it does not. And so the window open, well, let me rephrase. You have to have it in, but you can apply it tomorrow, pay your fee, and send that in when you get it from your doctor. So we want to make sure that you get your place in line, because as Ms. Harris shared, it's not guaranteed. It's mostly first come, first served. We want to house everyone, and our commitment is to house as many as possible. But we know that just is not feasible. So that's not to scare you or to create unnecessary anxiety. But the immunization records can come when they come. We just want to make sure you get your application in and secure your place in line. I hope I answered that question.
And though this is not what's not communicated, guys, it is not that hard to get your immunization records. Please don't think that this is going to be a process that takes a month long. It should not take a month. It literally, if you call your doctor, they are aware. Trust me, doctors' offices know that this season is coming. They are aware that these things need to come out, go out to their patients and to schools. So please don't let that be a cause of anxiety for you. You can get it from your school, because your school has to have a copy of your immunization records as well. But you can also get it from your doctor. It's not something that's going to take a long time to get. Okay.
And most of you have already had these immunizations as children. So it's really just updating a piece of paper from your doctors. It's already in your records, and then emailing it to the health center.
Yep. I have a question. Have the previous meetings been recorded? And if so, is there a link? Yes, all 3 of our episodes have been recorded and they will be sent to you via email, and we will make them live and accessible by link access only to those students who are enrolled. I'm sorry, not enrolled yet. You're not there yet. We're not there yet. Any student has committed. So if you paid your enrollment fee, sorry about that. Um, if there is an issue, can you switch your dorm assignment?
That's a good question.
That's
Of
a
course,
great question.
it's a
You
great
you
question.
you want to take that, Miss Dixon?
Sure. So if you, of course, we know you run into issues that with your roommate or whatever. So first step is we want you guys to be self-sufficient. So the first step is speaking to your roommate and see if you guys can handle the issue one-on-one. Now, if you can't get it resolved that way, you have a resident assistant that you can let them know what the issue is. They'll step in and do a mediation. And then if that's still unresolved, they'll come to me and say, "Hey, Miss Dixon, I asked a few questions. Hey, did the 2 roommates try to resolve it? Yes, they couldn't. Did you step in and try to resolve it? They couldn't. So then I'll step in and I'll mediate. I'll talk to the residents to figure out what's the problem, what's the issue. Most of the time, it's a communication issue, and a lot of times the 2 parties involved really just don't understand each other. It's hard for them to communicate, or they communicate in 2 different ways. So most of the time when I step in, I'm usually able to resolve it and help them with a resolution. And I'll give them like a time frame to see, hey, I'm gonna give y'all 10 days to try to work it out. If you still can't work it out, then we will go ahead and change your room assignment, because we also don't want you guys living in hostile environments. But it is steps to it, trying to resolve it yourself, speaking to your RRA, getting your RHM involved, me, the resident hall manager, or Mr. West, that's in Dr. West, that's in daily. And if we can't resolve it, then of course we'll change a room aside it as needed.
And we also have an excellent mediator in our director of residence life. So really the first course of action, if you don't get along or there's something going on, is we want to help you guys get better at communicating and solving issues in a healthy way. And that's part of what we do as we build the community and support our students. And so the first course of action is always to help you guys get better in the communication skills and reaching out and compromising. But if that doesn't work, we absolutely, like Miss Dixon told you, we have the RAs, the resident home managers, and a director of residence life, all at the ready to support and make whatever changes need to be made.
Just know, guys, you genuinely have the support of the university and making sure that you're successful. We don't want you to feel uncomfortable in your rooms, but you're adults now. You have to figure out how to navigate adulthood in a different way. So things that you used to do when you were in high school, or I don't like her just because I don't like her. She gets on my nerves because she thinks she's cute. That is not a reason to move your dorm. And we're not going to be inundated with I don't like her because of basic reasons. It has to be something that is valid. Okay, we definitely are not going to want you guys to get in any fights or anything, but sometimes we hear little petty things like she don't even listen to the same music I listen to. That has nothing to do with anything. Okay, you have to learn how to deal with people in community and in different environments. Okay, because once you get into the career world, you can't go to your boss and say, can you move my office because I don't like what that person brought for lunch. You have to start learning how to navigate these situations. Okay, so yes, you can switch, but please try to learn that this is a new environment and be open to learning new experiences and new people and getting to know them. Okay,
Yep. I
because we
see
even
another
have people
question.
say things like, "Oh, they're
Oh.
from another city." So, so what? You might learn something new about that city. Be
That's
open-minded.
absolutely. Absolutely. I see one about the SASA program. Will they be able to apply tomorrow at 12? Absolutely. If they're freshmen and they're ready, we are welcome. Yes, the answer, short answer.
Now, let me say this about SASA. SASA is a mandatory program. You have to, if you've already paid for the SASA program and you're in and you're confirmed, you have to pass the SASA program in order to move forward for the fall. So yes, you can secure your room now, but if you get put out of the SASA program, you're not going to be able to come in the fall, and you're not going to be living on campus. Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to be dedicated to the SASA program. You need to be focused, because we can put you out. This is a second chance opportunity. And so we want you to take it very seriously, because we've had students do that. And then they say, well, I've already paid for my housing, so I don't really need this program. You can call your parents and they can come get you, and you can, we wish you the best of luck. Okay. Again, we're trying to cultivate adulthood. Okay. And moving into your new season of life. And so all of the immature mindsets have to be, you have to let go of those things. All right. Everything that you're doing here, you should commit to it, because this is a very, very expensive investment into your future. And every decision you make can impact you. So you definitely want to take this seriously. Yes, you're going to make mistakes, but guess what? This is also a growing environment. Okay. A nest, let's break this down for you guys. A nest is an incubator, right? Is where a mother bird puts her eggs, and she watches over her eggs, and she, feeds the little birdies, the little baby birds. And then at some point she has to let them go. They have to jump out of the nest, and they have to learn how to fly, right? And so this is the same thing. The campus is an incubator. We are like your mama birds and papa birds and auntie birds and big cousin birds that are going to help you. But at some point, you're going to have to get the maturity enough to learn how to do it on your own. You're going to have to search for your own food. You're going to have to learn how to fly. And you're going to have to navigate life on your own. All right. So while we say welcome to the nest, we definitely nurture your potential and transform your life, but you have to put forth some effort too. All right.
All right. Well, we have time for maybe 2 more questions.
All right.
I see one. Yep, I see one about clarifying fees. Do you see that one?
I don't, but I can try to clarify that. So there are 2 deposits. Okay. One deposit is an enrollment fee. The second deposit is a housing fee. They are both the same in total, but they are 2 different fees. So the enrollment fee is $150 and the housing fee is $150. And you definitely need to pay both. So if you pay the enrollment fee, that does not cover housing. Okay. So you definitely need to go ahead and pay for your housing deposit. That is completely separate from your enrollment fee, but they are the same total. I do have a quick, some other questions. Is there any way that we can see a picture of what the dorms look like for accessibility purposes? There's actually a video on YouTube. If you look up Coppin State Living the Dream, there is a video, kind of a video tour of what the dorms look like. And actually, since that video was published, we have updated the dorms, and so they will look a little bit fresher and new and branded differently, but the flow is still the same. I'm trying to make sure I capture any questions that I did not.
I see a bunch of questions about Scholar.
I see that too, but I do have a question about, if I understand a deposit does not guarantee housing, but does submitting everything else, including paperwork, guarantee housing? All 3 parts have to be completed in order to guarantee housing.
Well, let me rephrase. Nothing guarantees housing.
I'm about to say, you took the words out of my mouth.
Okay.
Until we are at capacity. Like, we are really working to make sure that students can stay on campus and have somewhere to stay. But you do have to do that part. And we are going to assign students until we reach capacity. So you need to get your stuff in as soon as possible.
Yeah. And we can say that we are fully committed to housing our first year students. We really are. So I don't want you guys to think, oh no, I may not even get a space after going through all of this. We can't guarantee it, of course, because there's only so many apartments. It's not unlimited spaces. But we have been projecting out, and admissions has been awesome. And so we know what the projections look like, and we are prepared to house most of you. I can't say 100%, but I could say I wouldn't worry about it, especially if you get your information in early, the application, the medical, and the And the deposit, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Get it in early. That is the message.
Yes. So I do have a quick question I definitely need to address because I see it multiple times. What is SASA? Is SASA for all incoming freshmen? No. SASA is our Summer Academic Success Academy. It is our summer bridge program, and it is only for students who were invited. This is based off of our admissions review. This is a way for students to build up their academic profile if they did not necessarily meet the qualifications for admission, but were close enough. We want to give them a second chance. And so that's what the summer bridge program is. So not every student was invited to the Summer Bridge program. So if you did not receive a notification about participating in the Summer Bridge program, you do not have to worry about that.
Yeah. So I know that we're in a time crunch, but if there's going to be more questions that come up that occur after the fact that as soon as we hang up, you're going to think I should have asked that or I didn't know about that. And so we want all of that. We want all of the questions all of the time. Can we, let's give an email. Can we, because I'd like them to come to housing.coppin.com.
Mm-hmm.
Flood us with your housing questions. We'll answer them and then we'll pull them together and we'll create an FAQ and we'll make sure that no stone goes unturned or no question goes unanswered. The dorms are co-ed, the suites are not. I saw that come up.
Yep, I was actually typing it. I'm glad you said it.
Desiree, I need you to give me some clarity around what you mean by classifications. What would be considered early for housing? Tomorrow and the first few weeks is early. The first few weeks is early. I have another commitment, so I have to hop off. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I can kind of stay on and try to answer some of these questions. But thank you so much, Ms. Morris. We look forward to working together in the future for our season 2 episodes of Netflix to prepare you for what it's going to be like to what can you bring, what to expect, even on moving day, what to expect on moving day. We're going to walk you through that process to make sure that you know how to go through that. So we're going to have other seasons and other episodes, and housing will definitely be invited to the party. So thank you so much, Ms. Morris.
Thank you, guys. And I made a mistake. Apparently, I said housing@coppin.com. It's housing.coppin.edu. So.
And I did put that in the chat, guys. That's the email for housing. Thank you again, Ms. Morris.
All right. Thank you, guys. I can't wait to meet you guys on the phone. All right. Take care.
And Ms. Dixon, if you're still on the call, do you mind helping me with some of these questions?
Sure.
All right. So I have a question about, can we get an answer about the Coppin Scholar and scholarships? I don't know what that question was. If you could put it back in the chat, I am so sorry that I missed that question. Yeah, I need to know what that question actually was.
It's in the beginning of the housing application.
And then when filling out the application about the scholar, what classifies a scholar? If you received a Coppin State University scholarship, you would have gotten an email about that, and you can put that in your, you would select that as a part of your profile selection. So if you are a scholarship recipient, then you would select that. I hope that answered the question. What is the difference between a suite and a single, Miss Dixon?
So the single is if you have, so in Dedman and Daly, if you have a single, you have your own room, but you're going to still share the common area and the bathroom space. So within the suite, that means you just the suite area in general. But the single means that if you don't have no roommate, you're just in the room by yourself, but you do share the common area. Like I said, we have small refrigerators in the common areas, and then you guys, all the people in the suite share the bathroom, Miss Harris.
And actually, because that's a question, I'm going to try to pull up the video and I'll share that in 1 second. And I also see that students are still asking about the scholarship. So please know that the scholarship recipients know who they are. They would have received an email. So they would select that. If you did not receive a scholarship, you would choose regular student. If that changes in the future and you are awarded a scholarship, we can change that. We can notify housing that you received a scholarship. So don't fret about that part. If you did not receive a scholarship, you should be choosing regular student. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and I will play the video so that you guys can see what the dormitories look like. All right. So give me 1 second to share. And can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
For most students, Coppin is home away from home. There are many privileges to living on campus. For one, you're close to your class buildings and recreational facilities. And the dining hall is just a few steps away. Let's take a look at some of the other benefits to living on campus. Each student gets an Eagle ID card with secured access to the residence hall. There's no curfew, but each building has a manned security desk, a live-in residence hall director, and a resident assistant lives on each floor. We offer a suite-style living with a maximum of 8 people per suite and 2 people per room. The rooms are carpeted and spacious with plenty of storage and lockable closets, each with individually controlled AC and heating. You'll love the free Wi-Fi, cable, and micro fridges in the suites, but each student can also bring their own fridge if they'd like. The bathrooms have multiple sinks, showers, and stalls for privacy. And the lounge spaces are great for events and hanging with friends. The computer labs with printers are open 24/7, and we have brand new washers and dryers. We're close to a public transportation hub for traveling around Baltimore, and a shopping mall and food market is literally across the street. So, if you like what you see and are considering living on campus, please visit coppin.edu/housing. But remember, housing applications can only be submitted once you have been admitted.
All right, so I hope that answers some of your questions. And I did see a question about if there were some differences between the dorms. They're all set up suite style. Okay. One was built before another, and then we have one that's being erected right now, but they are all the same. They're all suite style living. There's no difference between the suite style. And again, if you go to, when your application portal opens up tomorrow, you will be taken to the housing page. All of the information is there, guys. Do not fret. Everything is there for you guys. Even the link for you to email your immunization records. It will say email the health center. All you have to do is click email. The email has already started to be drafted for you. So that's all you need to do. We've done the hard work. Just follow the
Ms. Harris, can I
instructions,
add
guys.
one thing? Ms. Harris, mean to cut you off.
Mhm.
So also updates in the residence hall. We don't have carpets in the residence halls no more. They are the hardwood floors. And then we do have game rooms in both residence halls. We have a basketball hoop, pool tables, air hockey setups in both lounges. So they are able to go into the lounges and play different games and stuff. Those are the upgrades we have in the residence halls.
All right. So thank you for that. I'm so sorry. Thank
No,
you
you're
for
fine.
that.
You're fine.
What is the name of the new dorms and will it be available tomorrow? You will not be able to select your housing preference tomorrow. You will not know which building you're getting
Nope.
until you get your room assignment. And the building does not have a name yet because it has not been finished. So it is still being erected. So it does not have a name. All right. So there's a fridge in the common area and each room included. Miss Dixon?
No, it's just the refrigerator in the common area. And also, before they move in, like the next season, as Miss Harris always says, you'll have the information on the size of the refrigerator. You can still have your own refrigerator in your room, but it has to be a certain size. But in every common area, there is a small refrigerator for use for the students.
When do room assignments come out? We discussed this. As soon as we can get clearance from the health center and that clearance is sent over to the housing department, they will start issuing out housing assignments. Do not expect it to come on this Friday. That's not possible. Okay, so you do want to give it a couple of days, but they are going to start, instead of waiting to release them all at one time, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Dixon, they're going to release them as they approve students. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so as you are confirmed, everything is confirmed that it's in and you have been cleared, we will start releasing releasing room assignments, okay? You can tell I work in admissions. I said releasing
I see.
decisions.
I see.
Woo, these roommates, guys, please be open to getting a new roommate. Is the roommate request a different application than the housing application?
No, it should be on. It should be on there somewhere when they complete. They should be able to get that information on. Selecting their roommate preference from like when we went through the profile and everything. That was for that, so it should be a different one. They should get that information.
I think we should just cancel the whole roommate request
They
thing.
yeah,
That
they
would
should just
eliminate that will
right.
eliminate so much.
Yeah, I just want
Guys,
to. I want
please
like
be
Miss
open
Harris
to
said, we want
meeting
y'all
new
to get y'all
people.
experience. We want y'all to get that
Yes.
experience. I get to know somebody different, have new friends, get new experiences, and just explore. So please be open to new roommates. I get it. This is new territory for all of you all. I get it, but don't be scared. Just embrace it. It's a change, and life we go through changes. And college is one of those things that is going to help you for the better. So be open to new roommates.
And even if you request a roommate, if your roommate has not submitted all of their documentation and you have, that is not going to solidify that you will be their roommate. So in the past, when students have requested roommates, if you submitted your things in April and you said, oh, I want this person to be my roommate, but they don't submit their things until June, we're not holding a space for your roommate until June. So everybody needs to be on board. If you really want this to happen, you need to be on board and everybody needs to get their stuff in. So there's that as well. I will be asleep at midnight. So can I complete the housing information when I get home from school? Absolutely. It just opens up at midnight. And we've had emails and social media already, and they're telling us that they're setting their alarm. So it opens at midnight, but you can still do it. Guys, don't get scared. We have lots of rooms on campus for you guys, and we are definitely making sure that we can accommodate as many students as possible. So don't fret, just get your stuff in on time. Okay, get your stuff in on time. And like I said, everybody's not going to, they can do their application and pay their fee, but they may not be able to submit their immunization records as soon as you can. So it's going to be variables in this thing. So don't like, I have to do it at 12:01. Go to sleep, go to bed. Wake up tomorrow and do it. Okay. Miss Dixon, are students allowed to cook? And also, can they have a microwave or air fryer in their room? If you're talking, Miss Dixon, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, I had stepped away. I'm right back. What was the question? I'm sorry about that, Miss Harris.
Are you allowed to cook? And also, can you have a microwave or air fryer in your room?
No. So first of all, with the cooking, so now we been blessed to allow students to cook. We have a kitchen on the first floors. So students are able to go in there and cook. So they able to get an hour time to go in there and cook, prepare their food. They get an hour to cook. It's open during the day. However, in the suite areas also do come with microwave. So it has a microwave and a small refrigerator. However, you cannot have the microwaves in your rooms. They're in the suites. But when the kitchen areas, they do have microwaves. So when you go use the kitchen to cook, you can go in there and use the kitchen as well. Again, the kitchen's on the first floor. Again, it's a process. You have to sign up to use the kitchen. And then you have a certain allotted time to cook. You have to come sign in and sign out. So there is a process. You are allowed to cook, not in your room, guys. Again, not in your rooms. On the first floor, in the common area spaces on the first floor, you're able to cook. And once you move in and everything, we'll show you all where the kitchens are located, so you guys can use those kitchens.
Okay, so I'm not going to answer any more questions about what to bring because we're going to have a separate session about that. How does the honors program housing work or the scholars program work? Will they be housed together? What does that look like for them?
I know the honors program, the students are placed in daily on the 7th floor. So they all have that 7th floor. So all of them live in the 7th floor space. So the university housing will be notified that they are honor students and they are placed in daily hall on the 7th floor. So they'll just be on the 7th floor with their RA. So they're automatically placed on the 7th floor. Once it's recognized that they're honor students, they'll automatically be placed on the 7th floor in daily.
Ms. Moore, I hope that helped. If it did not answer your question, can you
And then
let
they
me
said,
know?
and scholars, it should.
Presidential, Fannie Jackson Coppin
Yeah,
honors
all the
students.
scholars,
If
all
you
the
are a
scholars.
merit scholar, no, because there are more merit scholars than there are presidential, Fannie Jackson, and honor students. And those scholarships are different. Okay, they have different requirements, different expectations. All right. Is there an elevator, Ms. Dixon?
Yes, it's elevators in both buildings.
And I do see that you guys are starting to find friends on the Coppin group chat. That is very cool. But however, do not, you guys don't get to choose all of your roommates. Like, that's not feasible. We may not be able to make those connections. So you have to be open-minded. That's going to be the last time I say that, but you have to be open-minded. Don't be in that group chat thinking that this is going to be your roommate. And that has happened in the past, and then people met in person and they didn't want to room with that person. So slow your
Right.
roll just a little bit. Okay.
Right.
Just slow your roll just a little bit. All right. Thank you. Someone said that this has been very helpful. I am so glad that it has been helpful to you guys. Please share that for any student has completed the enrollment deposit process. If you have confirmed that you are coming to Coppin, these videos will be made accessible to you so that you can watch them. We will be sending out some promo for season 2 and the episodes that are to follow. And so, yes, you guys will get these videos. Oh, I do see one. If you don't, will you get a refund if you don't get an assignment, Miss Dixon?
If you, I can double. You can check on the site for that because I don't want to give out the wrong information because I'm not 100% sure if you will get that back. But I'm pretty sure if you don't get a housing assignment, the fee should be refundable. But I can
In the
double check and
past, we
verify for
have.
you. It have okay.
Yes, in the past, we have made sure the students get their refund back. But before we do that, we try to make sure that we are making accommodations so that you can stay on campus. There should not be a reason why you don't get a room assignment unless you're not medically cleared and you don't submit all of your documentation. So as long as you get that stuff in as early as possible, you will know. Okay.
Yeah, and I
What
just
if,
been told, Miss Harris, I just got to receive a message. They do get a refund. It is refundable, so they will
okay.
get it back.
And somebody asked, what if you're religious? Does that affect the housing assignments? Is it Zai? I hope it's Zai or Zay. If someone is the same religion or not the same religion and you want to be housed with that person, is that what you're asking? Someone with the same religion? And
Is
is
that what
that
you're
an
asking?
option on the application, Miss Dixon? And if not, can it be added?
Um, that shouldn't be like once they do their request, that should request put them with who they need to be with or who they're requesting to be with most likely. So I can say I can make a recommendation to Mr. T and see could that be added to that. That is a good question. That's a great point to bring up. But since once they do that profile thing, that should allow them to let them know their preference. As we said, that's why it's so important to let them know like exactly what type of person they would look in the room to avoid those issues.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we thank you for joining us. We hope to see you guys at Admitted Student Day. We hope to see you guys on season 2, episode 1. I hope that this has been helpful to you guys. And if it has been, can I get a Coppin in the chat? And I want to introduce somebody very special. Come on over here. He wants to say hi to you guys. We have our current Mr. Coppin. Let me see if I can.
Hey y'all.
If you could give them one piece of advice, because by the time you guys come, he will have graduated. Oh. But what one piece of advice would you give the incoming freshmen?
I always like to go for time management. Please manage your time, but please also put yourself out there. College is about getting out there, trying new things. So I would say those are my 2 tips. Get out there and manage your time.
And you heard that even he said it. You got to challenge yourself. Meet new people. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. You want to do A Coppin? A Coppin.
Hey, Coppin.
See you guys. Have a
See
great
you
night.
guys. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. We look forward to you guys coming to Coppin.